Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Wisdom of Your Soul. I'm your host Janice Mary, and I'm so glad you're with me. As we all know, these are very trying times right now, so connecting to our soul is really, really very helpful. I know this week I've had some very challenging moments, and my human side of me would just freak out, and my soul side, when I go back into that soul energy, all I hear is everything's fine and everything's okay. So sometimes that can be quite two different experiences. So doing this show helps me to remember to go into that energy more, especially when we're having such trying times and things are happening that are so out of our control. Even this weather today, on top of everything, we're having crazy, crazy weather. So we all have to move out of the mind that gets scared of a lot of things, and to move back into that soul energy, which there's nothing but love. It's like jumping into a stream of love where everything is fine, and no matter what's happening outside of us, that we're safe, taken care of, and that we're never alone. And that as human people can be hard to accept, but it is something that is so comforting. And when I do meditate and go into that energy, even briefly, I can feel the calmness just settle around me and help me through this difficult time as I try to help other people too. I looked today as we were continuing doing the magic, the exercises, the magic. And interestingly enough, today's topic was health. So I thought that how appropriate for everything that's going on now and everybody being so fearful of their health. So as I hear when I go into that soul energy, they're always saying to me, stay out of your mind, because when you're in your mind, that deteriorates your health, because the worry, the stress, the fear just alarms our body. It floods our adrenal system and causes us to overeat or to sleep too much or to do things that are really not good for us. So the more we can stay out of the alarm system of the mind, because the mind is an alarmist for sure. So the more we can stay out of the alarmist, the better we are. And that takes a little practice. But when you feel the difference of how much better it feels to be in that soul energy, the energy, your inner wisdom energy, your inner being energy, then you go and you seek that more. So it's so helpful, and I hope you try to reach for that during this time. We all need to. So the topic was health with the magic, and what she suggests is that we're grateful for our health, and sometimes that can be difficult if we're sick. So what she suggests that you think back all the years that you've been alive, and to think about all the years of the good health that your body has brought you, and to just say thank you to your body. Simply just say thank you. So year 1, when I was born, I want to thank my body for the year 1, year 2, year 3. I'm not going to list all the years that I've been born, but quite a few. And just thank your body for getting you through all these years safely and working for you so that you can be here. Then she suggests that you thank your body now, presently, how your body is right now in its state. And if you're in pain, or if you're sick, or if you're not doing well, she says, then thank the parts of your body that are doing well. So if you have a headache, thank your heart for beating, thank your ears for being able to hear, thank your legs for being able to walk. The gist is getting into the energy of gratefulness is very, very similar. That energy is so similar to your soul energy inside. And like I've spoken before, if you go into your soul energy, you'll naturally feel grateful. But if you can't reach your soul energy, this is another way to do it, by then calling upon or thinking about things to be grateful for at some point you start going inward and you start feeling better. And the reason you feel better is because you are hitting that inner energy that lives within you. So if you've ever noticed, if you were doing an exercise or you're listening to somebody and all of a sudden you start to feel better, it's because they're helping to bring you into your soul energy. Like a lot of times I'll listen to Eckhart Tolle or Abraham Hicks, and as I'm listening to them, I start to feel better and not even realizing I'm out of my mind and I'm back into that soul energy again. And so it takes you there. So doing Rhonda Byrne's exercises takes you back to that energy, because it's talking about something that's very different than our little computer mind can think of. And it's much, much healthier for us. So she suggests that, you thank your body and be grateful for your body, and that will continue to help you stay healthy, because then you're thinking about all the health of your body. You're not thinking about your body as deteriorating or going to get sick or, contract this virus and how will your body handle it. You're not thinking about that. You're just thanking your body. And then in that energy of gratitude, you're going into your soul energy and you will start to feel better. So we want to thank our bodies for our past and all it's done for us in the past. We want to thank our bodies for the present. And we do want to thank our bodies for the future. And if, God forbid, we get sick, we want to thank our bodies to really help us through it. So in that gratitude, there's a lot of, safety and love. So you'll start to feel a little bit better. So I thought that this was a great exercise for today, given what's going on in our lives. And I know the more that I'm out of my mind, crazy out of my mind, the better I feel. And the more I'm in my mind and I'm in my life and I'm in my worries and all the things that are happening to me daily, if I'm just stuck in those, that I'm going to have a stressful day. If I move out of my mind, so to speak, and I meditate and I go for a walk, or I try to do some yoga, or I just watch something easygoing, then I'm in a much, much better place. So I would highly recommend, giving that a try. This being homebound would be a perfect opportunity for you to listen to some new people, to try some new ideas on. Maybe order the book. You can get it right on your phone, The Magic. Order it and start doing the exercises. That will certainly help you get into your inner being. Because when you're in your inner being and your inner soul, when you're in that place, no matter what's happening in the world, you know that you're safe. You know that things are going to be okay. That just because this virus is, going through our world doesn't mean that we've done anything wrong and we're not being punished. And in time, we will all get through it. It's devastating to lose the people that we're losing, but the spirit world is always reassuring me that death is not a punishment. And that's a belief that I know I was taught, that not that I wasn't actually taught it was a punishment, but that it's, I have learned from my own perception that I don't want to die, I don't want that change, and that it's a bad thing. But I think that's how we perceive any change. We perceive change as a death of some sort, and we try so hard to hold on to life. We try so hard to hold on to good feelings, even though when change happens, generally we survive change and we're okay. So we go through so many changes in our lives and we're always okay. So the spirit world always reassures me the change in leaving this world, if that's what we have to do, is also okay. And we're all safe if we do transition into our next spirit life again. Not easy for us humans to accept that. Not easy to challenge the belief that death is a bad thing. Yes, it can be painful. The process of our bodies aging and deteriorating, but birth is also painful. And with birth, it's a beautiful beginning for a new soul. And with death, it's also a beautiful ending to begin again in your spirit life, if you believe in that. The more you connect within yourself, the more you will just come to know the truth of certain things. It's something that's very hard to put into words, but it is something that you will just know the truth, that might be true for you, because that's what I feel. And I just feel an enormous amount of love and support when I'm in that energy. And when I'm in that energy and feeling that, I can naturally extend that to others. And so it's really such a great thing to strive for, because when you're out of your mind and you're in this other energy in your soul, it really does change your life. I was listening to Abraham Hicks. Esther Hicks had a live video on, and she was talking about the inner being, and that when you're in your inner being, you see your whole world differently. And, we're really talking about the same thing. I'm talking about soul energy. She's talking about inner being. And she was saying that we're so conditioned in our mind to have these beliefs that who knows where they come from. But wherever they come from, they're not helping us. And if we ask our inner guidance, our inner being, for direction and help, we get a different answer. And that happens to me every single time. I could be upset and freaking out about something, and then the minute I get quiet and go within and ask for that second opinion, like we've talked about before, I get a completely different answer. So it's really an amazing thing to be able to do for ourselves. And you will feel such, warmth and love, and know who you really are. And know where you've can't come from and where you're going to go back, that we do have to trust the process of life, that life is more gentle with us than the mind will create. The mind, like I said, is an alarmist and will always give us worst case scenarios, and I don't think that our mind does that to hurt us. It is in the habit of protecting and preparing, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it goes in overdrive. And when our minds are in overdrive, when you're living too much in your mind, that does cause a lot of anxiety and depression. And I see that with my clients. People that are continually living too much in the future, in their minds, they're barely present. So if you're talking to somebody and they seem preoccupied, it's because they're thinking about the future or they're thinking about something else. And that can cause us a lot of anxiety because we don't have balance. The mind is good for tasks. The mind is good for figuring things out. The mind is good to learn new things. Like a computer, the mind is beautiful when we use it properly. But when we're out of balance and we're just living in the mind, which I know that's where I'm very, very analytical, being a therapist, analyzing. I didn't realize that I was pretty much living my life through my mind and not through my being. So it took me a little while to get that balance again. I know I had that balance when I was a kid because I was very happy and wasn't thinking so much. So I could just be more carefree. And then somewhere along the line, as I was training for to be a therapist, and I got very analytical and just thought that I could figure my life out through my mind. And now I realize I got mind heavy, kind of like top heavy. So there was no balance there. Now I know that I need that balance. So if I find myself thinking too much, which I love to do, and I still do, it's just that I try not to do it too much, because then I'm not being present. Now I really enjoy being more present. It's almost like the side effect of not being in your mind is being present. So Eckhart Tolle is all about being present and just kind of helping yourself to leave the mind and just to be present. And that's really a helpful thing right now with this virus going around, because if we stay very, very present, then we're all okay right now. And that's a very helpful mindset to be in, that I'm just going to take one day at a time, one moment at a time. I'm going to stay very, very present. And sometimes that works, and I've tried that, and sometimes that works for me, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes then I go back into the mind and I get caught up in it. And then Byron Katie talks a lot about challenging these thoughts. Is this really true? Is this really true? So I find when I can't be present and I challenge the thoughts, that really helps. So as you can see, we need a couple of tools in our toolbox. So you have to find what works for you. What helps you to get out of your mind and get back into your soul energy, your inner wisdom energy, so that you can feel that wisdom. And then you can live your life through that, through being a human being, more being than the analytical part where you're just in your mind thinking. And try to catch yourself. If you're home today and all of a sudden you start to feel bad, you went into your mind and your mind probably told you something scary, or your mind brought up something that you did that you don't like that you did. So you have to kind of catch the fact that you wandered into your mind, which is really not a good place to be, especially when we're in kind of a world crisis. I also suggest, to my clients, and I also do this with myself, is not to read too much news and media, because the mind does like that. It resonates with that. And I feel like the news knows how the mind works, because the news is very repetitive and the mind is very repetitive. So they have that in common. So it's very hard sometimes to pull away from the news because it fits the mind. The mind likes to go over things over and over and over again, searching for answers, searching for a way to protect yourself. And it's just really, honestly, not very helpful. So don't start your day with the news, and don't end your day with the news. If you want to find out what's going on in the world regarding this virus and what's going on, watch it like midday, watch an update, but then leave it alone. That's what I feel like works best for me, and it works best for my clients. But you'll find what works best for you. But do a test, test yourself, because I did. I watched the news in the morning and at night, and I could see the effect it had on my day. And then on the days that I don't watch it at all, I see the effect that has. And the days that I'm more meditative and I'm more being, and I'm just flowing from one thing to the next thing, much, much better than the days that, I'm sitting there watching the news and, that repetitive link of going around and around of what's happening and what's going on is stressful. It's stressful, and it causes a lot of anxiety. And as Rhonda Byrne is talking, anxiety and stress is not really the best thing for our immune systems. And if we want to keep our immune systems healthy and in tip-top shape and ready to fight this virus if it ever comes to us, that staying out of the mind is probably the best way to go about doing that. So this is the time to find a spiritual teacher or somebody on YouTube. A lot of people love Jay Shetty. He has wonderful insight and has great wisdom himself, because he connects. And there's tons of people that you can listen to and get advice from, other than your mind, your own mind. This is not the time to listen to your mind. It's the time to get out of your mind as much as possible, and to go back into that soul energy, to feel the comfort, the love, the wisdom, the guidance, even the guidance. A lot of times I'll in that soul energy, I'll just kind of know how to treat myself on any given day, because I just intuitively feel like, oh, okay, I need more water today, or I intuitively feel what to eat or what to do. So when you connect to that other part of you, you do much, much better. And you make much, much better decisions. And you just feel better. You're in a much, much positive mindset, and gratitude doesn't seem so far away. So have a great day, and we'll talk again soon.